Hi guys. Before I start this video, I really wanted to ask you guys for your opinion about how are you finding these videos. Um, I really don't know how can I make it more interactive, because it's something that I am just reading and you are just listening. So even Bhagavad Gita is something that I don't want to make my own interpretations on. I don't have to have my own opinion on it, because everybody interprets it in its own way, and there is a stage for everybody's learning. You might be going through something and you might resonate with something, and I might be resonating it with another meaning. So when I put my opinion out, you get stuck on that. Everybody, when they hear someone else's opinion, mostly you stop thinking about how it resonates with yourself. So that's why I really don't like interpreting it on my own. And also because Bhagavad Gita is something that is really holy, and uh, it is a religious granth or a religious text. uh, I don't think I am anywhere near the great teachers who actually have realized the teachings and to the depth and to the truth. So that's why I really don't share my opinions or put my interpretations out on this video. But I really need your help to know how can I make it much more interactive, so that it holds your attention at a much deeper level. Because Bhagavad Gita is something I want everybody to connect with. That's why I have actually started this series of reading it out. If it doesn't connect with you, that then I don't think it is really helping me with my purpose. So everybody who is watching this, please comment down your opinion, your ideas. What do you want to see? How can I make it much more interactive? Do you want to see the text? Shall I put the pictures of the text that I'm reading, so that even you can read it as I'm speaking it out? Or do you want me to put some pictures of the Bhagavad Gita or the instances that are being mentioned in the text that we are reading on that particular day? Like anything that you want me to do, I would do that. Just please help me out with this. I would be really grateful, because I want you all to connect with Bhagavad Gita just like I am. And for people who have actually not read Bhagavad Gita, or are not really keen on uh, going on a spiritual path, it gets more difficult for them to connect if it's just listening, maybe. That's why I was just thinking about it. So please let me know. Today I'll try to put some of the pictures of the shlokas that I'll be reading in today's text, in today's time, allotted time. But if anything else can be added, just mention it in the comments, and I will definitely take it seriously and do it. So today we'll just directly dive in. We were on page number 10 of the introduction chapter, and we were on its last para, that is the last line of the page. We had already read about what Bhagavad Gita is, and who is the supreme personality of Godhead. And Krishna himself spoke to Arjuna. How was Arjuna? Arjuna was a really a great devotee and a friend, and he took Krishna as his teacher and guide, and someone who was the supreme. So he took Krishna's word as it is, and he didn't use any kind of flattery for Krishna. So the same way we also need to be submissive in front of God, because God knows everything. As I've told you, even you experience everything in this life through God. Everything is godly. When you go out, there is a very great example of how you can know that there is a presence of something far beyond what we can perceive through our physical body. When you meet a new person, somehow or the other, you have what we call as a vibe. You know that, oh, maybe this person looks like that. Maybe I have some vibe. I don't have good vibrations from this. I didn't receive good vibrations. I didn't receive bad vibrations. You judge. That is your first judgment, and that is something without even the other person speaking or touching you or something. You just feel it. How do you do that? That is the godly presence, and that is how energetically present we are in this world or on this planet. And we are far beyond our physical bodies and far beyond just what we see and listen in on this earth. So we are more than our physical bodies, we are the soul, and we feel everything energetically. We are energetic beings, we are flowing beings. We are not stagnant. There is also a scientific study which said that even when you feel like you're touching someone, the if I'm touching my palm, I'm actually not touching. It's still at a small distance, and it's just the molecules that are vibrating that make me feel that I'm touching. You're actually not even touching anyone on this planet. It's just that their energies are touching yours, and you feel that vibration, and then you're like, okay, I'm touching. So that's how even your words, please be mindful of your words. Please be mindful of the music that you listen to. Even the Sanskrit shlokas which we are reading, they are highly magnetic, and they are on a really high vibration than our normal words that we use. All these religious texts, why do these matter? Why are we doing the jap? You try it. Even I, when I tried it, I realized otherwise I was always doing my jap on a mala. Try it on your fingers. I didn't have a jap mala, so I was just like, okay, I need to do the jap. So I did it on my fingers, and I literally felt my fingers vibrating with the energy. That's when I understood that the jap malas do contain so much energy, and the words that I am read or that I'm chanting, they contain so much energy that they enter the jap mala or your hand when you are reciting. So remember that, okay, that you are energetically really high. So use that energy, use that music, anything that you listen to, it should be on that high energetic level, so that you go faster. It helps you, it is like a catalyst for your path towards spirituality and God. Okay, so let's start. When we are materially contaminated, we are called conditioned. False consciousness is exhibited under the impression that I am product of material nature. This is called false ego. One who is absorbed in the thought of bodily conceptions cannot understand his situation. Bhagavad Gita was spoken to liberate one from the bodily conception of life, and Arjuna put himself in this position in order to receive this information from the Lord. One must become free from the bodily conception of life. That is the preliminary activity for the transcendentalist. One who wants to become free, who wants to become liberated, must first of all learn that he is not this material body. Mukti or liberation means freedom from material consciousness. In the Srimad Bhagavatam also, the definition of liberation is given. Muktir hitvan yatha rupamam swarupena vyavasthita. Mukti means liberation from the contaminated consciousness of this material world and situation in pure consciousness. All the instructions of Bhagavad Gita are intended to awaken this pure consciousness, and therefore, we find at the last stage of Gita instructions that Krishna is asking Arjuna whether he is now in purified consciousness. Purified consciousness means acting in accordance with the instructions of the Lord. This is the whole sum and substance of purified consciousness. Consciousness is already there because we are part and parcel of the Lord, but for us, there is the affinity of being affected by the inferior modes. Sorry, but the Lord, being the Supreme, is never affected. This is the difference between the Supreme Lord and the small individual souls. Okay, so you must remember that when you think that you belong to this world, and you are living this life, everything here, you are just to be here. I think that's what they're saying is uh, false consciousness. You need to remember that you are the soul, and you keep on changing bodies, what your karam is, who the god, who the supreme controller is. They have also mentioned how you're not the supreme controller, because you we cannot even control the growth of the grass, or we cannot control the natural calamities. You must remember these things. You can't even control your birth and death. So how can you be a controller on this earth? So the supreme personality who can control your life and death, who can control time, who can control nature, so he obviously is the supreme controller who can control everything that is ever existent. Obviously he will be a supreme controller. What is this consciousness? This consciousness is I am. Then what am I? In contaminated consciousness, I am means I am the Lord of all I survey. I am the enjoyer. The world revolves because every living being thinks that he is the Lord and creator of this material world. Material consciousness has two psychic divisions. One is that I am the creator, and the other is that I am the enjoyer. But actually, the Supreme Lord is both the creator and the enjoyer, and the living entity, being part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, is neither the creator nor the enjoyer but a cooperator. He is the created and the enjoyed. For instance, a part of a machine cooperates with the whole machine. A part of the body cooperates with the whole body. The hands, legs, eyes, and so on are all parts of the body, but they are not actually the enjoyers. The stomach is the enjoyer. The legs move, the hands supply the food, the teeth chew, and all parts of the body are engaged in satisfying the stomach, because the stomach is the principal factor that nourishes the body's organization. Therefore, everything is given to the stomach. One nourishes the tree by watering its root, and one nourishes the body by feeding the stomach. For if the body is to be kept in a healthy state, then the parts of the body must cooperate to feed the stomach. Similarly, the Supreme Lord is the enjoyer and the creator, and we, as subordinate living beings, are meant to cooperate to satisfy Him. This cooperation will actually help us, just as food taken by the stomach will help all other parts of the body. If the fingers of the hand think that they should take the food themselves instead of giving it to the stomach, then they will be frustrated. The central figure of creation and of enjoyment is the Supreme Lord, and the living entities are cooperators. By cooperation, they enjoy. The relation is also like that of the master and the servant. If the master is fully satisfied, then the servant is satisfied. Similarly, the Supreme Lord should be satisfied, although the tendency to become the creator and the tendency to enjoy the material world are also there in the living entities, because these tendencies are there in the Supreme Lord who has created the manifested cosmic world. So, whatever we feel is actually there at a large level in God itself. Obviously, we being a part of Him have very minute quantities of those emotions that God has. Even like love and anger, excitement, the what they are talking about is the emotion to lord it over, that I am the owner. All these emotions are in a very large quantity present in God. So we have a very tiny, minute quantities of those emotions in ourselves. We shall find, therefore, in the Bhagavad Gita that the complete whole is comprised of the Supreme Controller. The controlled living entities, the cosmic manifestation, eternal time, and karma or activities, and all of these are explained in this text. All of these taken completely form the complete whole, and the complete whole is called the Supreme Absolute Truth. The complete whole and the complete absolute truth are the complete personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna. All manifestations are due to his different energies. He is the complete whole. It is also explained in the Gita that the impersonal Brahman is also subordinate to the complete Supreme Person. Brahmano hi pratishtham. Brahman is more explicitly explained in the Brahma Sutra to be like the rays of sunshine. The impersonal Brahman is the shining rays of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Impersonal Brahman is incomplete realization of the Absolute Whole, and so also is the conception of Paramatma. In the 15th chapter, it shall be seen that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Purushottam is above both impersonal Brahman and the partial realization of Paramatma. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Sat Chid Anand Vigraha. The Brahma Samhita begins in this way: Ishvara Parama Krishna Sat Chidanand Vigraha Anadi Radhir Govinda Sarvakarana Karanam. Govinda, Krishna, is the cause of all causes. He is the primal cause and he is the very form of eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Impersonal Brahman realization is the realization of his Sat, his eternity feature. Paramatma realization is the realization of Satchit. Satchit. Satchit means eternal knowledge. But the realization of the personality of Godhead Krishna is the realization of all transcendental features. Sat Chit Anand, that is eternity, knowledge, and bliss. Incomplete Vigraha, incomplete form. They are saying that the Brahman realization or the Paramatma realization is like realizing that either he is eternity, he lives there for eternity, or he is someone who has eternal knowledge. But God, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is Krishna, Krishna means that he has eternity, knowledge, and bliss. He has everything together. So he is the whole. People with less intelligence consider the supreme truth to be impersonal, but he is a transcendental person, and this is confirmed in all Vedic literatures. Nityo Nityanam Chetanas Chetanam Nam. As we are all individual living beings and have our individuality, the supreme absolute truth is also in the ultimate issue, a person. And realization of the personality of Godhead is realization of all of the transcendental features in his complete form. The complete whole is not formless. If he is formless or if he is less than any other thing, then he cannot be the complete whole. The complete whole must have everything within our experience and beyond our experience, otherwise, it cannot be complete. The complete whole, the personality of Godhead, has immense potencies. Parashya Shaktir Vividheva Shruyate. How Krishna is acting in different potencies is also explained in Bhagavad Gita. This phenomenal world or material world in which we are placed is also complete in itself because the 24 elements of which this material universe is a temporary manifestation, according to the Sankhya philosophy, are completely adjusted to produce complete resources which are necessary for the maintenance and subsistence of this universe. There is nothing extraneous, nor is there anything needed. This manifestation has its own time fixed by the energy of the Supreme Whole, and when its time is complete, these temporary manifestations will be annihilated by the complete arrangement of the complete. There is complete facility for all the small complete units, namely the living entities, to realize the complete, and all sorts of incompleteness are experienced due to incomplete knowledge of the complete. So, Bhagavad Gita contains the complete knowledge of the Vedic wisdom. I will read one line again. All sorts of incompleteness are experienced due to the incomplete knowledge of the complete. All Vedic knowledge is infallible, and the Hindus accept Vedic knowledge to be complete and infallible. For example, cow dung is the stool of an animal, and according to Smriti or Vedic injunction, if one touches the stool of an animal, he has to take a bath to purify himself. But in the Vedic scriptures, cow dung is considered to be a purifying agent. One might consider this to be contradictory, but it is accepted because it is Vedic injunction. And indeed, by accepting this, one will not commit a mistake. Subsequently, it has been proved by modern science that cow dung contains all antiseptic properties. So, Vedic knowledge is complete because it is above all doubts and mistakes. And Bhagavad Gita is the essence of Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is not a question of research. Our research work is imperfect because we are researching things with imperfect senses. We have to accept perfect knowledge which comes down, as is stated in the Bhagavad Gita, by the Parampara or the disciplic succession system. We have to receive knowledge from the proper source in disciplic succession, beginning with the supreme spiritual master, the Lord Himself, and handed down to a succession of spiritual masters. Arjuna, the student who took lessons from Lord Sri Krishna, accepts everything that he says without contradicting him. One is not allowed to accept one portion of Bhagavad Gita and not another. No, we must accept Bhagavad Gita without interpretation, without deletion, and without our own whimsical participation in the matter. Why I do not like giving my own opinions. We must accept Bhagavad Gita without interpretation, without deletion, and without our own whimsical participation in the matter. It should be accepted through parampara or disciplic succession. People who are uh, like in your family, your grandfather, then father, then son, and that's the way of accepting. The Gita should be taken as the most perfect presentation of Vedic knowledge. Vedic knowledge is received from transcendental sources, and the first words were spoken by the Lord Himself. The words spoken by the Lord are called aporishya, meaning that they are different from words spoken by a person of the mundane world who is infected with the four defects. A mundaner is sure to commit mistakes, is invariably illusioned, has a tendency to cheat others, and is limited by imperfect senses. We all have that. We surely commit mistakes. We are invariably illusioned in one way or another. We definitely have a tendency to cheat others, and we are limited by our imperfect senses. With these four imperfections, one cannot deliver perfect information of all pervading knowledge. So we have to purify these, okay, with time and with knowledge, and by the grace of Lord, we are to purify these. Vedic knowledge is not imparted by such defective living entities. It was imparted unto the heart of Brahma, the first created living being, and Brahma in his turn disseminated this knowledge to his sons and disciples as he originally received it from the Lord. The Lord is Purnam, all perfect, and there is no possibility of his becoming subjected to the laws of material nature. One should therefore be intelligent enough to know that the Lord is the only proprietor of everything in the universe and that he is the original creator, the creator of Brahma. In the 11th chapter, the Lord is addressed as Prati Prapitamaha because Brahma is addressed as Pitamaha, the grandfather, and he is the creator of the grandfather. So, no one should claim to be the proprietor of anything. One should accept only things set aside for him by the Lord as his quota for his maintenance. Okay, so for today it has already been a long video. I think we will stop here. Let me know if today's video was much more interactive than all the videos before. Let me know if any ideas you had, which I had stated in the start of the video. Just help me out with this, and we'll continue tomorrow. See you. Bye.